thanks for that, Tony. I think that's very, very enlightening, and I think it's a great backdrop to to really start this series on men's wellness. You're giving some really comprehensive points there that I think all of us, if we're going to be real with ourselves, we've got to accept them, we've got to identify them, we've got to address them, and and find ways to get through them. And based on what all the other guys said as well, some key points. One of the things I saw there was that look, we've gone around what are the challenges, and I think you very aptly put it there, Tony. That in a nutshell, we tend to wing it. We wing it as guys. I love the analogy that you used there with using the cars. They imagine driving a car and having no gauges, no speedo, no water gauge, no oil check, nothing. We're just driving, just going, no speed, no. You
That's what we
understand?
do to our body.
And that's what we do. And again, just concurring that because so one of the things that's settling in my spirit is that we should not be conforming to, I'm going to put it this way, a kind of worldly standard then, a standard that seems to be so acceptable. One of the things you threw in there was time. We're in a generation or a time now where it's all about just do things quick, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it instantly. Don't think about it, don't pray about it, don't reason about it, don't meditate, just do it. There's no just do it, and I think that's one of the biggest problems there. And so you mentioned there very aptly, I think you mentioned the word optimum performance. I absolutely love that because that's been one of my strap lines over the years that, how do we as guys, get to present ourselves performing at optimum level? That's at top level, top notch. We don't want to be mediocre. We don't want to be mundane. We want to be firing on on all cylinders, as it were. And I think one of the ways that we can do that, just to put this out there, is that so not just to discuss, but one of the solutions I believe then is to have a self-management system in place. To organize a personal self-management system, that can be structured. It can be consistent. We can find ourselves in situations on forums like this, for example, where we can be accountable to each other. Yeah. So if we've set a target of goals to be achieved, because it can be a lonely place. When you're trying to organize yourself personally, sometimes we get despondent. We can sort of go off the mark. But if we're responsible and being accountable to each other, I think those are the ways we can get things going on. Because in terms of Yaya mentioned again about awareness, I remember years ago in Nigeria, like for example the moringa, and when he mentioned the aloes, I was just laughing to myself because I remember the time years ago. Um, there's the way the aloe vera bush just grows, it just grows wildly. I remember one guy said, my friend, go and cut that bush down, go and cut it down because they didn't know what it was. You see, and it's lack of awareness. We have these herbs, we have these so beneficial stuff just growing wildly, just there. And because of lack of awareness, we don't know. We don't know how to put them into practice. Again, just tapping into the things that we've already said. Medical checks, we've got to be doing that. The maintenance levels. Guys, let's be proactive in the way that we check ourselves. And it's got to be a priority. Tony, again, the analogy there with the car. Do we take the things, do we take the possessions as more important than the thing that's going to use those possessions? So it's as if you got all these objects, you got all these gadgets, you got the Bentley, we've got the roller, we've got the what is it? Somebody mentioned we've got the Porsche there, we've got all these vehicles, but then you that's going to drive these things now, for example, you're you're extinct, you're non-existent. And an area that I really want to really go into as well, guys, just to put it out there again, is that we're going to stop being selfish because all this that we're saying now, have we really considered what effect our demise has on our loved ones, right? On our children, on our partners, on our wives. You know what I'm saying? On our siblings, on those that we say that we love. Are we thinking about that? So I've just thrown a few things into the pot there. You mentioned a particular area that I believe I've been really trying to specialize on over the last sort of 10, 15 years, to be honest, guys. And it's to do with prostate cancer. It's to do with prostate awareness. Tony mentioned it earlier. You know, stats are showing that 1 in 8 men die from it each year. But then bringing it closer to home, it's 1 in 4 black men. 1 in 4 men like us, people that look like us, are dying. And, you know, it's because we're not taking care, we're not having the right lifestyles, stress, what we eat, lack of exercise, no talking, no discussing, no blowouts. There's no, you know, we're not doing this on a consistent level, and so we're just throwing, you know, these creations, these beautiful bodies, these what we have, throwing them away. Um, so again, guys, I think we need to really get serious with this. It's not just a forum just to discuss. I think we really need to start getting busy and getting active and getting intentional about how we're going to share this information, you know, and hopefully those that are watching, you know, can also pitch in, you know, and give us those suggestions so we can formulate something that's going to be lasting. So it's not just for us, but our children, our sons, and so forth that are coming up. Yeah, we need to present some kind of legacy for them as well. And, you know, again, just to reiterate, we just don't want to get caught up in this. Remember, this is called the game challenger. We're challenging the game, we're challenging the status quo. You know, if people aren't interested in it, well, beg to say, guys, we are, and so we're challenging the modus operandi out there. That's me for now. I'm sure there's a lot more to be said.
Okay, okay. I want to say something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to say is a very important that as you said, Mr. Tony and Mr. Shola, as you said that we need to take care of our health. You know, sometimes I'm looking in Africa, especially in Nigeria, because there are some cases here now. You know, one of the major problem we are facing here is finance. I was sharing with somebody. Somebody was sharing with me today, my friend. He was talking about his father. One checkup, 400,000 naira. One checkup, any checkup, 400,000. So think about it. If somebody don't have money, you know, in America and all those places, they have a good facilities when it comes to health. In Nigeria, we don't have a good doctors. They only care about the money. They don't care about, you know, saving life. So these are the challenges we are facing in Nigeria. You know, most of the time, you know, we are talking about eating right. I went to market, Mr. Shola. I went to market to buy food
Mm,
stuff. I sent somebody to buy something. I want to cook food.
mm,
The person, what she brought, I asked her, what's going on? The one I gave
mm,
you know, for you to get something, you know, think about spending 10,000 naira. I mean, just 10,000 to cook a single person, to cook a pot of soup that you are not sure of you're going to eat like 2 or 3 days to finish. So you look at it, we have a good organic food that when you want to eat, when you continue eating them, tomato is very good. We're talking about prostate cancer. You know, when you eat tomato, is also help. There are some
mm,
food that you can be eating that can also save you, you know.
mm,
And when you go to market to buy some of those things now, the finance aspect of it is also a challenge. Understand? So the situation is I see in Nigeria. So what I'm trying to say is this: that even though that we are trying to, you know, check ourselves, we also consider the aspect of the finance because most of the people that are dying, they don't have money. The doctor cannot treat them, and it's a problem. So the only thing that somebody can do is just to manage, you know, because going for checkup is not here. For you to go to checkup, you want to check your system. The one I went in Enugu now, they are calling about 80,000 naira to do a checkup. You know, so think about it. Not everybody that have the money to do that. So when that sickness will be inside of them, eating them up without them knowing, they will go and take abu, this Yoruba herb. They will drink it,
mm,
thinking that that thing will solve the problem. It will not solve, but rather the thing will start damaging their system. So what we are trying to say is that the challenges we are facing here is finance. There are
different.
people that
Yeah.
want to go, but because of they don't have the finance to go, some of them die because they don't deserve to die. So these are the things that I want to talk about. So we will
Mm,
know how we balance these things because it's not easy. The situation is not easy for us here. So, but we are
mm.
thanking God that at the end of the day we are pushing. So that is what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello,
Good
gentlemen.
point.
Can I
Very
come?
good point. Mm-hmm.
Kevin, you say something.
This is the thing. Is in my candid opinion, I believe a same stress level with peculiar differences. A same stress level. High blood pressure at the peak is the same anywhere. Prostate cancer, same corresponding factors anywhere. I would say, I understand when they say, how best will I say, issue of finances, medical structures, and all that. But I will tell you this: within the past 12 months, I've had two to three videos sent to me of Nigerians that slummed at work. I think 2 in UK, 1 here in the US, that slummed at work. I've not had that in Nigeria. Why am I saying this? For whatever you enjoy here, there is no, oh, my sibling Tony is there, my sibling Shola is there to go and carry 1 garawa of gari. No, everybody's garawa is filled to the brim. So by that, I mean, everyone had to be up and running. It's the same medical jobs people go for here. It's the same police job people go for here. It's the same security job people go for here. These same jobs in Nigeria. And also know that for you to get any of this job, you have to be like 2 times more qualified than the indigents over here. There is technically no difference in terms of qualification. The qualification is standard, but for folks like us that we're not born and raised yet to be qualified, you have to have an extra age, a visible extra age, and all that. And even with that, you can understand why I'm referring to my folks in Nigeria, Ziyaya and the other one, that with that, you can understand why a number of folks here are like doing 2, 3 or more jobs. Under normal circumstances, they could not have been doing at home. And these are like piling up in terms of stress level and all that. Like I said, the past 12 months, 2 to 3 videos that have been sent to me of Nigerian folks, not even on the other African countries, that dropped dead at work, that just slumped. So I think before we started, I mentioned there are times I ask myself, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Even with all of this, as I'm talking to you guys now, is at 12 noon over here, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. noon over here. I've only had coffee, espresso, and all that. But then right now I'm mumbling some mixed peanuts. You know, sometimes I forget that I've not eaten. And by the time I will even, it's like, where is the appetite going to come from? After talking to you guys, and I've got some paperwork to catch up with. I've got some other stuff to catch up with. My dear brother Yaya and the other one is the same stress level, if not even more. Because right now, my heater is on, it's chilly outside. And for me to be able to keep myself warm, you can understand I had to make sure my job is sustained. I have to do everything to make sure my job is sustained, not to even talk of before I now come and pay attention to okay, what I will need to eat. That's when I now had to be like, okay, I had to be careful where the organic and non-organic now comes into play. That has got its own challenges on its own. So is we just for me, is a situation you just can't run away from now. You've gotten yourself situated, and I will quickly say this as I speak. Downtown over here is High Street over there in London, which is a place like Ojuelegba or Idumota. Those are like downtown. Those are like High Street. Ikeja, those are like high street, those are like downtown. As I speak to you, I wish I was driving, I would have shown you homeless Caucasians and African Americans under the bridge as I speak. Down, well, you need someone that resides in New York. When they break it down to you, you'll be surprised. All they see back home in places like Nigeria or New York are those Manhattans and all that, but all those dilapidated that will make you swear, no, this is not America and all that. But if I hadn't seen it myself, I would not have believed and all that. I can give it to them. I'm no longer in the mindset of describing. Whoever wants to experience it, you're actually very free to come and see it for yourself. And I tell you this, there are many Nigerian folks here that are doing the deal. What do I mean by deal? Down low. They will come with their qualification in Nigeria, but they're there in Nigerian restaurant, they're serving job they could not have done under normal circumstances in Nigeria. So my dear brother Yaya and the other one, let me go the Nigerian slang. Who not come, no know. So with all these are part. Tony, why are you grinning? Who not come, no know. So it's part of stuff we're grappling with. Is the same. The peculiarity of the circumstance is technically the same, but the environment is just the different. In thinly, the environment is where you could like, okay, give it the thin differences. Is the same is the same stress level, the same peculiarity, and all that, you know. So is how best I can balance it out, but is having been born and raised. I mean, I've experienced both worlds. I struggle to extrapolate the differences. That's just what I want to say.
Femi, I totally take that on board, yeah. And thanks for explaining the differences or the same difference. The same difference. We call it same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to say something?
Yeah. Tony, can I ask a question, Ian Sola, because you've been doing it? I know you have some statistics.
Yeah.
And what I want to ask, the illnesses, the men's illnesses, in terms of high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate, heart, whatever it is.
Yeah.
In Africa and in Europe, America, which one is it higher, and which of the illnesses is higher, and where?
I think I can't give you the exact figures, but I think you'll find that a lot of wherever there's ultra processed foods and processed foods, there's scientific evidence that the lifestyle diseases increase.
Tony, please, can I quickly comment?
Also, one second. Also, obviously, when we're talking about even the vegetables, the fresh vegetables and so on, what you'll find is some of them are GMOs and some of them are being tampered with. That's also affecting, you find there's a correlation with that also too. Yeah. So Ferry, you want to say something?
Yeah. To add to that, I would say over here they're able to collate the statistics, but in a place like Nigeria, I doubt, which will make me give it that the situation, even with all the healthy groceries, direct from farm to kitchen table, by virtue of the method that the food are being processed, high cholesterol, diabetes, and all that will be much higher. I am ready to sign a blank check for a bet for Nigeria that it will be higher. A few months ago, I was just told of a girl in her 30s that just put to bed and passed on. Was this thing called the medical term for high blood pressure in pregnancy women? 35. You know, and when you see some of this food, we're lucky. It's just that the system has been so built by the Almighty that to be able to withstand. Not until I became part of SM Tony that I come to understand the powerhouse, the liver, the human liver truly is.
Mm. Mm.
How many in Nigeria, apart from the medical practitioners, how many in Nigeria truly know the power? If you ask them now, what's the powerhouse of the body? Most likely they will say the heart or the brain. How many of our Nigerian folks truly understand the intricacies the organ called the liver entails? So these will also give you an insight to how people see food. Today I was studying some materials on these hydrogenated oil, or these saturated oil, fry this, fry that. Some they will to even be kept till the following day. Come on, that's like with every ants and with every fiber in our being begging for cancer. How many in Nigeria truly knows? We talk of this suya thing, suya that, suya that. I could give it to them and all that. But how many truly know too much of this stuff? How many truly understand the power of the portion of all this stuff they even eat? Even the food. We talk about the organic stuff now. How many truly know how they systematically destroy the nutrient? And by extension, it becomes God knows what form of cancer. So over here, they're able to say 1% of this, 95% of that, because the structures are there to be able to collate the statistics. But in a place like Nigeria, I can't boast of that. So with that, I would say it's much more in a country like Nigeria. I yield.
Yes, the reason why I asked, I buried my mom. I went to Sierra Leone last year, June. My mom died age 102. Yes. She's not educated, but one of the things she had, because while she was here in UK, we're always supporting her with her medication, with her health checkup. That's one thing she was never joked with. She never joked with. She always went to her doctor for advice, her checkup, and everything. Even when she was very old, we had nurses that went to the house and checked her pressure, checked her this. So she knew and she understood. She would say, where is it? What's the number? Tell me that. Because her doctor taught her. And the doctor that was treating her died at an early age. Yeah, why she was even telling the doctor, you're telling me not to do this, but why are you getting fat? You getting this. You should control, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this. And so the doctor was even very fond of my mom. My mom died 102. She will not eat anything oily. She will not eat meat. Fat she controlled. She ate more of boiled or steamed food. She ate more of fish.
She knew what she was doing, basically.
Yeah, she knew what I'm trying to say. The diet we take, just like Femi said, the amount also you eat and when you eat it, it's very important. You cannot wake up 12 midnight, 2 in the morning, oh, I'm feeling hungry. And then you go and take a big portion of rice and soup or food or whatever. Or you drinking alcohol all the time, a bottle of whiskey, you're boasting, oh, I just finished a bottle of whiskey last Saturday. The amount of sugar content in those alcohol is really heavy. So I think the quantum we take and what we also take also really affect our health. Sometimes we go to parties, with the music, we just get carried away and we do things. We know it's not done, but we just do it. And that's the control. How do we control it? How do we make sure we don't do what to do? It doesn't matter whether it's in Europe, America, or Africa. Luckily in Africa, they have more of organic food. But here, well, they tell you it's mixed. You have the good one, the expensive one, and the cheap one. Wherever you choose, you want to die early, you know. But again, with the quantity you eat, you see. So for me, again, I think it's a lifestyle, and the economy also affects it, because now you go to the supermarket with 50 pounds. When you come, I don't even know what you've bought. You know, I went to the shop yesterday to buy oil. I saw an oil with like 1 liter for like £5 something. When I came out, I said, no, there's a sale. There's sunflower. It is about 2 more liters. Go and buy that one. So now we go for the more and cheaper.
You know one thing. What are you using the oil for?
Huh?
What are you using the oil for?
She was frying she was frying some chicken.
Yeah.
We have no meat. We have air fryer and all that. But she fries it dry, and we try to reduce the amount of oil we use. Actually, it doesn't matter. You need oil. You need oil to just the quantum you eat and how much you eat during the week. That matters.
Well, where you got to be careful if you need good oil, good fat.
Yeah. No, we need good oil. No, it was good oil. The one I bought was good oil.
We need good fat.
Was sunflower. The one that was on sale was the sunflower oil, and I checked. It was a good one actually.
Don't worry. What you have to understand is this: when we're looking at this, we look at things on the surface when it comes to health, and we look at things like what is a good oil and what is a bad oil. How do you determine something is good and what something is bad? Yeah. If I say to you that at the end of the day, all oil is good, what are you going to say to me? You're going to argue with me, aren't you?
Yeah.
You argue. But if I say to you, the reason why I say that is because when we talk about oil in its natural state, it's okay in its natural state. But we don't eat the oil and we don't cook the oil in its natural state.
Yeah.
What we do is we apply heat to oil. And when you apply heat to oil, do you know like water has a boiling point? Heat has what they call a smoking point. Yeah. Now, when you heat that oil to a level, and each oil has a different smoking point level. Yeah. When you heat that oil to the level where it hits the smoking point, it turns from a good fat to a bad fat. And when it turns to a bad fat, that's when we're turning to a trans fats and saturated fats. So, sorry, trans fats. Sorry. Yeah, it's like trans fats. And those trans fats, when you're talking about issues with artery blockages, and also issues with cholesterol issues with diabetes, issues with high blood pressure, you tend to find it's linked to these trans fats and saturated fats accumulating in the body. So what we as in the African and in the Caribbean community, we tend to use oil like there's no tomorrow. Yeah. And guess what's also prevalent in the African and Caribbean community? High blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. And all of these things are linked to trans fats and saturated fats. So what we always say is we're doing the right things based on the knowledge we have. So when you say something is good, it's based on your knowledge. Yeah. But your knowledge can be increased by hearing out some people that can extend it further. Yeah. You know, when they say something is good, they're saying it's good relative to something bad. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you here is that a lot of times the reason why they're using oil is because what they're doing in the cookware cannot happen unless they used oil. For example, you said frying meat. Yeah. Because of one thing that we talk about some other time, because of the utensils, the cookware that you use needs the oil to fry the meat. You talked about air fryer. Now, I'll give you a caution on air fryer, because I think you need to go and look at the latest research that's coming out on air fryer now, which they're linking also to cholesterols, and also the way it's done it, they're linking it also to other lifestyle diseases. But for me, I will send you the video on that. Just like when the microwave came out, everybody was so excited about the microwave. Yeah. But a lot of people didn't know how the microwave works. And some people still don't know how the microwave works. And at the end of the day, I always say, if you can't see what's heating your food, then that's a miracle. It's not a miracle because there's no miracle in the microwave. It's magic. Now, if you're a believer, do you believe in magic? Yeah. But guess what? You're using magic to cook your food in the microwave because you can't see anything. Now now when you listen carefully, microwave, small wave. What is a wave? Radiation. Now, if I tell everybody in this room, anybody on this call right now, to go into a room full of radiation, would you go into the room?
No.
No. Why would you not go into the room? What's the number one illness linked to radiation?
Cancer.
Yeah. What's the number one problem now we have in this world?
Well, cancer.
So I rest my case. Yeah. So what it is that we are our knowledge on health, good food. Yeah. Sorry. When we talk about this is good and this is bad, it's based on our knowledge. So what we need to do as men is we need to expand our knowledge on the types of foods that are good for us, the types of foods that can help prevent lifestyle diseases that are prevalent in our community. We also need to understand if we do get to that position where you can't say, if you do get complacent and you start eating wrong for a period of time, something can happen. Now, if you do get to that point where somebody has, like a lady, for example, one of my clients came to me, her dad had prostate cancer, and her brother is a medical doctor, and he's saying take him to surgery. She's saying, wait, let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it the natural way, with food and with all the things that we have around us. And then he goes, then at the end of the day, they went to the doctor. She came to me, I said, tell the doctor to give you 90 days. Yeah. Is your dad so bad that he can't have 90 days of you doing it the natural way? And the doctors turned around and said, well, it's quite bad, but you know what? His PSA is quite high, but you know what? I'll give you 30 days. If his PSA goes down in those 30 days, then I'll give you another 30 days. And from that point, she changed his diet. She took all the red meat out. She took all the chicken out. She brought more of the plant-based food in. She brought more of the green leafy veg. She used, you might have heard of soursop leaves, soursop fruits. Yeah. The dad was fighting her. Can you imagine? Somebody's trying to take care and help you recover from prostate cancer, and the dad's fighting. I can't eat this food.
I know.
This food.
Terrible.
He said, Dad, you can't. What is this food doing to you? Is it killing you, or is it helping you? He said, I don't know, but it's not good. It doesn't look good to my taste bud. So what we had to do is we had to compromise, because he wouldn't go fully plant-based. We had to give him some fish, so at least he had a little bit of meat in his diet. Yeah, but that's only compromising, and that slowed down the process of healing, by the way. Yeah, so we did that. So what happened next is by time now they went for the test 30 days later, the PSA had gone down significantly, but it was still at the point where he was still considered at high risk for getting worse. Yeah, so the doctor gave them another 30 days. They followed the same program, kept on the vegetables, as much vegetables, soursop leaves, all these different things. And guess what? Went back to the hospital, it went down again. By 90 days, it had gone down below what it should be. Yeah, it was normal. It was normal now. Yeah. Now, the thing is, what we have to understand there is that he had to sacrifice certain things that were not good for him. Yeah. And also, they had to make a decision. Where are we going to do it naturally, or are we going to surgery? Now, the reason why she didn't go to surgery is because she's heard of a friend of hers that her dad did go to surgery. They did do whatever they did during surgery. And later on, a few years later, it came back again. This time the cancer came a bit more aggressive. So at the end of the day, even if you go that route, there's no guarantees that it's not going to reoccur. Now, do you know why sometimes it reoccurs, or sometimes people have cancer, they get rid of it during surgery? Because guess what? Your lifestyle hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
Food hasn't changed. So there's something that's causing the problem in the first place, and you're still doing that. So but you know, a lot of people go out when they hear this podcast, they go, "Oh, let me go and get some soursop leaf. Let me go and get some soursop fruit. Let me go and get some herbs." You mentioned herbs too. You mentioned herbs and soursop. Look, the problem is some people are taking these things, but they're taking the bad things with the good things. You cannot go and say, "I'm going to take herbs," and then I'm eating rubbish that's causing problems for me. So what's going to happen is your food is neutralizing the good thing. Your negative is coming with positive and neutralization. So there's not, all that good food is not having an effect on you.